Hey guys, it's Derek with the Conscious Resistance Network. Just a quick check-in today, nothing super important or, related to current events or politics or to any of my ongoing investigations or anything. Just a brief rant that I want to share with you guys related to my experience dealing with being a YouTuber, if you could say that, or, an internet activist, a digital activist, and particularly a person who doesn't fit in with the quote-unquote mainstream, whether we're talking about mainstream journalism or just mainstream life in general. I'm a weirdo, as I guess one simple way to put that. And so because of me being a weirdo and also being a public figure or putting myself out there, I often deal with people who expect me to dress a certain way, or they like to tell me when I'm not dressing the right way that I should be dressed, and let me know that if I just dressed this other way, then I would be able to get more views or more attention, or people would respect me, or yada yada yada. And I've been doing this since 2010 now, and this is the third YouTube channel I've had over that time. So I've heard this from the beginning, because some of you may remember, those who follow me for quite some time, that I used to actually have a dreadhawk. I had dreadlocks only in the middle of my head and shaved head on the side. And when I first started out, I had patterns shaved in the side of my head. And the very first time I left Houston, I went to New York City to report on 9/11 anniversary activities and to participate. And I had my old school punk vest that I used to wear at all the shows here in Houston, and it's torn up and covered in patches, and I had no shirt on underneath, and crazy patterns in my hair, and shoes with holes in them because I was just poor, and I'm still poor, and sometimes I have shoes with holes in them because I'm a real fucking person. And it just, just getting this off my chest, because it really does drive me crazy. I feel like people totally miss the point. And maybe it's an older generation. I don't want to just say that and say it's just you older folks who don't get it. You think I need to dress up a certain way. Because sometimes I'm sure it comes from people who are younger, maybe even younger than me, who just think that. Now, particularly what I'm talking about most recently is this city council video that has been going viral on our channel, which was from back in early November, where people have been telling me there's at least, I'd say, 6 to 10 comments of the thousands of comments on there, right? So these are definitely the minority, and I appreciate that, those of you who actually are listening to what I'm saying, as opposed to like, oh my god, he showed up at city council wearing shorts, or why is he have long hair, or people say apparently t-shirt and shorts is what a hippie dresses like that. I don't know, or just having long hair, it must be a hippie. It has nothing to do with me just wanting to grow my hair long, or wanting to grow, whatever reasons, cultural reasons it may be, or different things, right? It's just lots of judgment is all I see. So I want to explain to you why that's important to me, and why I don't just cut my hair or just try to fit in. And it's because I don't fit in, because I'm not a freaking square. I'm not a normie. I've never been. I used to, I was like a gothic punk kid, and so you already have people looking at you weird because you choose to dress a certain way. And for me, it wasn't a costume, is because those are just the things that I felt comfortable with. I've always felt comfortable in dark clothes, and I used to love piercings, and I have tattoos, and I plan to get more tattoos, and I've thought about tattooing my face, and I'm sure that would drive some of you crazy, but I'm probably going to get my neck tattooed and all these things. And that doesn't mean I'm not a journalist, or I'm not capable of being a journalist or a reporter or an activist. The thing is, I just refuse to conform to the system and say, well, I'm going to take that same route and make sure I do it the same way everybody has. I'm thankful for my friends like Ben Swan and others who that's the route they chose. They go through the mainstream. They've got the perfectly, moosed hair and, tan skin and whatever else, and the suit and that kind of thing. And they're well spoken. And that's what they choose. And for people who need that, when they get information, they'll go to Ben Swan, or they'll go to, mainstream garbage. But for those who just want knowledge and want information, and who, like me, don't judge a person based on their clothes, and instead listen to what a person has to say. And if somebody opens their mouth and it's obvious that they are knowledgeable and they have things to say and share, then you listen. And that's been my experience in my life, both personally and dealing with other people. Because yes, there have been times where I've been in situations where, I've, like I said, running around without a shirt, or just a little vest on, or just being poor, not having, shoes that are not busted up, and these are things that have made me kind of like self-conscious going to events and speaking at events, and especially when I'm at events that are super expensive, that if I wasn't invited to speak at or wasn't allowed in as press, I would never be able to get in there. And think about this, while I had dreadlocks, I was confronting politicians. I've confronted, you know, Rand Paul, and interviewed all kinds of people over the years, dozens of people, politicians, activists, journalists, you know, it doesn't matter. And in those moments, whatever my hair looked like, it didn't matter. You know, they may have thought like, who's this crazy dude looking in there? Like, particularly I remember during like the 2012 elections leading up to then, I would get a lot of press events where I would be in there with, you know, all the mainstream press and senators and like, you know, presidential candidates and stuff. And I'm in the back room with all the rest of them finding some snacks to munch on. And I've got my small little camera, and I'm just dressed like me. You know, maybe I choose to wear pants or a long sleeve shirt or a button up shirt if I choose to. But I still had crazy hair, and it was obvious, like, okay, he's not, you know, who's this weirdo back here with us? But it didn't matter, because as long as I had my camera and I have the knowledge and I have the skills, the energy and the desire. So my point with this rant and ramble here is that I'm just me. I'm never going to try to be anybody else other than me. And so when I finally did cut my dreads off and shave my hair, I'm sure I know some of you rejoiced, and then I immediately started growing my hair as long as it is now. Now I'm a hippie. Now, you know, that's what everybody says now. Now it's no matter what it is, there's going to be judgment, and I accept that. Like, putting yourself online, people judge, people say whatever. But more than me bitching or trying to play the victim here, I really think that you guys are silly. Any of you out there who think with this mentality, let me see if I can find a comment somebody left me just a couple hours ago on that video I'm talking about. And it's somebody who, admittedly, in their own words, they say that they are, you know, an old fogey or something like that. And basically, you know, they're saying like, I mean, this is, to me, it's the stereotypical comment that I'm complaining about. So they say, Derrick, I believe you're extremely well intended, that you care about your fellow citizens and your motives are good, but you need to be aware of some finer points, which are, number one, get your hair cut so you look like the average Joe, not some remake of a 1960s hippie. Why would I want to look like the average Joe? Like, why don't I just look like the average me and just be myself and not worry about these kinds of things? And I didn't know that having longer hair meant that you're a hippie automatically. I mean, there's just these silly ass judgments. Number two, buy a suit or a sports coat with all the trimmings and present yourself like a dignified person who means business and know what the hell he's talking about. So if I can't afford a sport coat or a suit, like, you know, yeah, there's options at you know, the thrift stores and things like that. But I mean, like, this is what this person wants me to do. Like, go and be dignified, so I know what the hell I'm talking about. Look, anybody who watches these videos, I think it's clear that I know what the hell I'm talking about. You are appearing at a formal public hearing, not some protest movement on a street corner. If you want respect, you have to show respect, even though you know and I know that most of the people sitting there are asshole, degenerate freeloaders. Well, then why the heck should I show? Like, I've been to city council for 9 years now, and I've seen how they treat people. And I don't go there assuming they're all crap and none of them care. But generally, yes, they don't care. And they will just say whatever they have to at city council, or they'll just ignore you. I also specifically went to city council. I was actually wearing shorts because, I mean, I was just hanging out in my house wearing shorts, but I decided not to change because I knew silly people like this might say something. And to me, it says the exact opposite. It says this person doesn't care about what their clothes are. They just showed up here in shorts. Like, I could have just walked off the basketball court and walked right in there, just dropped some knowledge on them and walked out. Because in fact, I live 15 minutes from downtown, so that took me about a 15-20 minute bike ride. I got downtown, did my little speech to them, came home, went about my day, and then I get to rip that video off their website and throw it online and get, you know, nearly, the video's at 70,000 views now. So I think it's having an effect. And I don't know, I know this is probably silly to some of you, and you're just like, you know, don't worry about what people say. That's generally what I feel like. But I also want to, just the last point I want to make is, as a child growing up who knew I was a weirdo and knew that I wanted just crazy hair and designs and tattoos and piercings, and just that I didn't fit in with the average kind of family. You know, I watch things on TV and see this sort of stuff that felt corny and cheesy to me, like that it just, you know, a lot of this normal things, mainstream type of life that is shoved on us, which I don't know if it actually represents anything, you know, other than just some creation of corporations, but that never fit in with me. It just didn't make sense to me, you know. So when I was younger and I would see somebody, an adult or somebody older than me, that was alive and living and still was an individual, and whether or not they had piercings or tattoos or dyed hair or they were a punk or not, but just they were expressing themselves in some unique way, and they were being a human being. They weren't just buying the same clothes as everybody else, dressing, okay, well, now I'm a middle-aged dad, so I'm going to dress like a middle-aged dad. Now I'm, this kind of bullshit. It would give me hope and realize, wow, that person is older and they look different and they're living different. They're a unique individual and they found some way to survive. So that means all these people who are telling me I need to conform and at some point I just need to grow up, I need to stop acting this or that way, which is essentially just their own judgment. That's what people say. Some people will come to me like this person and they act like they're on my side and they'll say, I know you have good intentions, but some people think this. No, you think that. Just be upfront and say, look, I think this. I think I would probably respect you more if you wore, pants or a suit. And that's fine. You can believe that. It doesn't mean I'm going to respect you anymore, and probably I'll respect you less for judging me based on clothes, but at least we'll both be real. All right? And that's more important than anything. So I just wanted to rant about that a little bit. Let me know your thoughts below. For those of you who've been following for a long time, you may remember the dreadlocks and the shaved designs in the head and no shirt and all this kind of stuff. Maybe that turned you away in the beginning, but I'll tell you this, I haven't gotten to the point I am now by changing anything about myself. I haven't been getting invited to speak around the world and getting videos to go viral and thinking of the things that I think of and meeting the people I do and get respect from the people I work with and the people who become friends to me by changing and conforming. I've gotten that this far by being myself, and I refuse to do anything other than that. So go out there, be yourself, fuck conformity. Remember that this system wants you to conform to it. They want us to be afraid to think for ourselves and act the way we want to. So it may seem silly, and you could say, well, this is just clothes, Derrick, or this is just physical appearance. It's irrelevant. But you need to understand the Snowden documents proved. We know that they have online persona management software, and specifically in the government documents, U.S. government documents and U.K. government documents, they say that their goals with creating these fake online accounts and fake troll accounts is to encourage conformity. So they literally want us to conform and to be this idealized worker bee person that dresses a certain way and looks a certain way and acts a certain way. Fuck that. Be yourself, always be yourself, and let your beautiful self shine through. And work on your shit too, because we got a lot of improvement to do, each of us here. But that's it for today. Love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Remember, if you can hear this, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.